So with Ed's passing, it seems the show is handing out the torch to the next generation, and a lot of what's going to happen could have been avoided had a folder been named differently. It's time to talk about For All Mankind's episode, Open Source.
Spoiler alert! Shields up!
So, no memorial service for Ed? Well, apparently the time's not right for it, what with all that's going on.
What is going on exactly?
Well, there's the investigation of the murder, I guess.
What investigation? As far as the police are concerned, Lee's guilty and escaped to the ISN.
Yeah, well, tensions are fraught between the ISN and the M6.
Right. So why would that stop a ceremony for a grumpy space hero?
Okay, well, there's also the fact that people keep spraying free Mars all over the place.
Except the police know who did that. Dale's become an informant to get his daughter out of prison, and there hasn't been any spray painting for a while. So what's really the issue?
Well, we're just going to have to accept that there is one, and leave it at that.
Not a very auspicious start.
Well, Alex and Kelly are pretty sad about it. They are. Until Lilith shows them the makeshift memorial the people of Mars put up in honor of Ed.
Damn right they did. Good for them.
That was sweet. It brought a tear to my eye. It was a nice moment indeed. And then we take a look at what's going on Earth in an army corps, as someone is interviewing a woman about a position she's applying for. An interview? Looks more like an interrogation, but with her being strapped to a lie detector test and all. It's all very mysterious. But we learn she's a potential troublemaker. Except she's got all the right excuses for her troubled history.
Troubled history? Could it be because...
Oh yeah. Here's a tangent link to season 3 for you. She's Danny Stevens' daughter.
No way!
Yes way! Plus apparently she has the same traits as him. Uh-oh.
They better not put another mentally unstable person up in space who'll sully the name and legacy of Gorder Stevens.
Only his legacy, mind. Her mom changed her last name to that of her following husband.
Well, there is that at least.
But later on, when we catch up with her at the bar, we see how unstable she is, threatening a couple of fellow officers over nothing but a little bit of teasing.
And let me guess, she's gonna somehow qualify despite that, right?
Well, we wouldn't be following her if she didn't get to Mars or something, right?
Talk about blatant, obvious, and predictable foreshadowing.
Yeah, maybe, but aren't we perhaps judging her a bit too harshly? I mean, we hardly know her.
Well, our feelings about her are reinforced when she motorcycles to Danny Poole's house and has a go at her, thinking she might have said something to the people dealing with her application which put them off.
Look at her, jumping to conclusions and getting all riled up. Clearly Space Marine material right there. Well, Poole reminds her that despite her family history and her own clearly erratic behavior, she's still in the running, which is a good thing. Is that really a good thing?
For her, maybe, but for her potential crewmates?
Maybe let's give her a chance?
Come on. We're judging her by what we've already seen about her, and what we've already seen makes me feel like she's trouble. Also, why are we spending so much time with her?
Because she's a new character who will obviously play a crucial role in the story later on. And anyway, she takes her second interview, admits her feelings about her dad, and aces it. She's off to the moon, baby! All of this must be happening after some kind of time jump, as Alex is suddenly ready to start his first day at Helios. What's he gonna do? Unclear at this point, but as his mom said, he's got to start somewhere. And even Ed started by scrubbing the decks like everyone else. Then Alex gives her Ed's Apollo plaque and tells her she should take it with her when she leaves for Titan next week.
Next week? Already?
Exactly. That's the time jump I was talking about. So Alex starts his job doing some kind of data analysis and ends up working late.
On his first day?
Well, he wants to make a good impression. Then Dev comes and seeks him out.
In front of the remaining employees?
Yeah.
So much for him constantly asking for no special treatment.
Well, never mind about that. Dave wants to show him the latest development of his dream project, the Meru City, which will be self-sustaining and capable of housing 1 million people. Nice! Looking at the new model sparks Alex's excitement for it, and his wish that the city had more of a flexible feel to it, like modular living quarters so people can really make it their own, and Dev tells him making such a change now would cost millions.
So much for that idea.
But Dev tells him that if he can come up with an affordable idea for such an alteration, he'd do it.
So much for no special treatment.
Looks like Alex won't be scrubbing the decks anymore.
Talk about a fast promotion.
And as that's happening, Elena arrives on Mars.
Hang on, wasn't she supposed to supervise the refit of the Endeavor?
Yes, she was. That's why she went to Mars.
Yet the Endeavor is launching next week. It's like she missed all the work.
I find it amazing she arrives with absolutely nothing, not even a carry-on. She's the CEO of Helios, dog. She's got people to carry stuff for her. True.
So, Alex has a rebel hero granddad. His mom's gonna pilot the ship to Titan in a race with Kurgan. He's friends with Dev, the founder of Helios, and his auntie is Aleda, the current CEO of Helios. Yeah. No special treatment for him, hey?
Ha! Damn right. So we then learn through a newsreel that Russia's economy is in trouble as they repurpose their economy around iridium, yet shipment of that precious metal from last season's asteroid are few and far between. So pressure's being put on Polivanov to get everything back on track, no matter the cost.
Well, that sounds ominous. Not a very sensible plan to repurpose an entire nation's economy on the promise of deliveries that don't come.
Well, if there was no pressure, there wouldn't be any tension in the story, Doc.
Tension is best when it's not due to predictably bad decisions.
True, but don't worry. The tension will ease as Polivanov's wife convinces him to throw a party to celebrate the launch of Sojourner in an attempt to rally people together and maybe get them to forget all about their troubles and their strife and get back to work happily.
It's a bold strategy. Let's see how it pans out for them.
And meanwhile, Aleda finally gets to Dev's headquarters. They barely patch up their differences and get straight to work. Turns out, they still can't get the Endeavor's engine running, and if they do, they have no reliable data on how to establish a safe orbit around Titan.
And they're leaving a week from then? Shouldn't they have figured that out months ago? I mean, look at how slow and careful NASA is with the Artemis missions in our reality.
This is fiction, Doc, which means we need tension and risks all the way.
You want tension? Well, how about Alex trying to access data for his modular Maru idea and encountering a weird Cyrillic folder that's locked behind a level 3 security clearance?
What's in it?
It's locked, Doc, but it tells Lilith that the folder is about the space elevator and that its Cyrillic name means automation.
But there's not supposed to be any automation on the elevator.
Hence the mystery.
Not much of a mystery if you're going to label your secret folder based on something you're not supposed to do.
Yeah, should have named it Grandma's Secret Cookie Recipe or something.
Bet it's connected to the murder and the secret deliveries.
How could it not?
So, Lilith plants the idea in Alex's head to hack the system and gain access to the folder to see what's inside.
Like that won't get him in trouble.
Nah, it'll be fine. He'll just stay working super late, and once everyone's gone, he'll just hack his supervisor's computer, who he knows has clearance, to check what's in that folder.
Who needs to hack anything? She's not at her desk and left her computer on without even logging out.
Come again?
You heard me.
What the f-
Well, at least the folder is still locked behind encryption.
Not after he plugs in a special USB stick and types in a few cryptic lines of code.
That's the open source from the episode title.
And he gains access.
And amazingly, not only does he get in, but all the documents in that folder whose label is in Cyrillic about the space elevator that's being built by the Russians are all in English.
That's super convenient and nice of the Ruskies to write in English.
Isn't it just?
So, he learns that Kurgan are planning on replacing 98% of Mars personnel with automation by 2017.
That's Plan B-53 for you. It looks like that's a plan that's in conjunction with Helios too.
No way!
Yes way!
Well, how can Dev be okay with this?
Well, I'm guessing he doesn't know.
What about Aleda?
Well, that remains to be seen, but she's the CEO, so you draw your own conclusions.
Okay, so Alex steals those digital files and shows them to Lilith, who's as livid as he is. Maybe even more so.
Alex isn't convinced Dev's in on it. How could he be, what with Miru and all?
Yet Lilith reminds him nothing happens at Helios without his say-so, so he has to know what the plan is.
Talk about conflict in poor little Alex's head.
So, Lilith wants to go public with this information.
Who wouldn't?
Well, Alex doesn't. Not yet, anyway. He needs to process this and talk to Dev about it.
Meanwhile, Polivanov has his little celebration about the Sojourner mission, which is pretty much just him speaking to the crowd, and then Sojourner is ready to launch.
Just like that? But what about all the issues with the engines and achieving a stable orbit around Titan and all that?
Oh, that was fixed off-screen.
So why even bother mentioning it then?
To give the actors some lines to memorize?
So, Sojourner's going to have no artificial gravity, and the crew are going to be strapped into their seats like any crew in our old space shuttles, except here they'll be traveling for months, and and they think they're going to be able to do anything once they manage to land on Titan well over 1 billion kilometers away?
That's an issue for another episode, Doc.
Bet it'll never get addressed, truth be told. Don't forget, this isn't the realistic sci-fi space show it used to be.
And anyway, we've got bigger space fish to fry. Lilith and Alex leaked the files on automation.
Talk about the shit hitting the fan.
It'll be a slow hit, Gigi. It'll take until next episode for us to see the repercussions of this and who was actually involved in this covert automation plan. So, open source. To be honest, I'm not sure what to make of Avery Stevens, Jarrett. She feels like she's bolted onto the story. Plus, she's going to the moon, not Mars.
Yeah, but you know she'll go to Mars. That's where all the action is. And they'll need Marines to deal with whatever disruption will now happen because of the leak. So much for Polyvanov's plan to calm everything with a party. I mean a speech.
There's a lot of issues with this episode, like unlocked computers, big problems that are raised yet are solved off-screen, and a totally unsuitable starship that will take people to Titan.
Well, I for one did like the interaction between the various characters. It's just a shame it's all wrapped around an unbelievable setting and a badly thought out concept.
Well, isn't there like a science advisor on the show or something? If there is one, they're not doing a very good job.
And why couldn't we have a proper memorial for Ed, eh? The claims of tension seem to be totally unfounded. I mean, there were no signs of any riots or kerfuffle on the base around the time he died. So that made no sense either.
A lot of stuff made no sense. Like Aleda having to go to Mars to supervise the refit of Sojourner, only for her to arrive and it's pretty much all done. Then they need some data to achieve a successful orbit, but Dev handles that.
Off-screen.
Yeah, off-screen. So what was actually the point of Aleda coming to Mars anyway?
So she could be where the action is.
Another artificial way to drag a character to a location.
It's the lack of realism that really annoys me. This show sucked me in thanks to that in the first 2 seasons. But now, it feels like it's season 3 all over again. How so? Well, remember how they time skipped over all the preparations to get the ships ready to go to Mars? All the problems were solved off-screen, and away they went?
Yeah, I do.
Well, how different is that to what we experienced here? I would have hoped they would have learned something from that debacle of a season.
It seems they did. Do more of it.
So, the improvements we saw in season 4, that was just a blip.
Too early to tell, to be fair, but the signs aren't encouraging.
You're telling me.
So yeah, we have some nice character moments wrapped in a sea of scientific dubiousness and unsatisfying off-screen resolutions.
It's tell and don't show all over again.
I guess it's good Ed wasn't around to see this.
And what about Lee? Nothing's really happening with him. I mean, okay, he's got safe harbor in the ISN base, but weren't they going to use him to exert pressure on the M6 to share iridium more fairly or something?
I think that's what the news clip said last episode.
And over a month on nothing?
Nope. And what's Boyd been doing all month anyway?
Nothing, it seems.
You're telling me that she chases a lead, gets knocked out, and, nothing?
She's on leave, remember?
Since when has that stopped an intrepid detective?
You're obviously under the delusion Boyd is intrepid.
And you guys speak of good character moments, but where was Alex's decision to leak the info?
It must have been that unspoken moment when he looked at that photo of himself with his granddad.
Well, that was clear as mud.
At least it sort of happened on screen.
There is that.
So, the crew of Sojourner are on their way to Titan, and there'll be nothing but a puddle of zero-gravity mess by the time they get there. Alex is bound to lose his job as it's gonna be so obvious it was him who leaked the info, and we're about to get the Mars Rebellion that's been teased from the beginning starting next episode.
I miss self-contained episodic storytelling.
Aye.
So, aside from a few character moments, there's really nothing much here to recommend, is there?
Seems not. A flat episode, really, with some questionable writing.
Maybe some scenes were cut for timing purposes?
Well, that's possible, but then not enough were cut then. You don't set up problems only to resolve them off-screen. That's terrible storytelling. You don't create a mystery with a Russian folder, only to have it resolved because someone left their computer on, and then have all the dogs be in English. The audience is way more computer-savvy than that these days, surely.
And most of our usual characters had nothing to do. Where was Dale and Ilea and our Russian doctor, for instance?
Well, on that front, it's all about passing the torch to the next generation, which is why there was such a strong focus on Avery, Daniel's daughter, and Lilith and Alex's dilemma.
Short-lived dilemma. Wasn't he supposed to want to talk to Dev before leaking the info?
Yeah, I was looking forward to that confrontation.
And we ended up with nothing. So yeah, a weak and disappointing episode overall, which is pretty much all I have to say for this one. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll give you the response you deserve. Yeah, should have named it Grandma's Secret Cookie. Yeah, should have named it Grandma's Secret Recipe. Yeah, should have named it Grandma's Secrets